Hey everyone, Talking Dave over here, the dorky talking black guy that's just trying to get by. Before I get into everything, I apologize for the strange glare you guys are seeing. I dropped my phone and the area where the lens is cracked, so yeah, my bad. So it's going to take me a few weeks to get this replaced. Anywho, welcome back to another edition of Street Fighter Flashbacks. So, in celebration of the 30th anniversary of Street Fighter, I'm taking it upon myself to share my memories of playing the arcade and console games at that period of time and review other Street Fighter related media. So, after the awesomeness of the Street Fighter 2 anime, Capcom released a new Street Fighter game, basically more based around that anime to a degree in Street Fighter Zero. Alright? Now, this was a very interesting move for Capcom, and it also both awesomely but actually annoyingly started the trend of Capcom giving us games but giving us prequels, which is both good and bad. Right? However, with Street Fighter Zero, basically this was the next evolution of the Street Fighter franchise. While many games were moving forward, Capcom decided, you know what, there are some things that actually occurred in Street Fighter 2 that weren't explained, and most people didn't really play the first game or have as fond memories as the first game. So why don't we play something in here that can get the people that jumped on Street Fighter 2 to get them a little more interested in Street Fighter Zero, right? So basically, Street Fighter Zero actually brings back a couple of characters from Street Fighter 2, namely Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, Sagat, and Vega, whom the latter is actually like a boss character for some players and is basically a secret character in the game. They also bring back a couple of other people from the first game. They bring back Edan, Sagat's former sparring partner, former pupil sparring partner, and now biggest rival, and Birdie, whom in Street Fighter 1 was white, but they made him black here. And everything. However, both characters get improvements, there's a flip move that Adon did in the first game and everything. They rebranded it as his Jaguar kick, and it looks awesome, as well as some of his other moves like the Jaguar tooth, and then his basic elbow combination and everything. Freaking awesome. And Birdie as well, basically he has chains around him, and that makes him more of a power grappler, which he actually, Zero was a great improvement on the character overall. We also get we also get a couple of new characters from basically another game series called Final Fight, which was known as Street Fighter 89, where they introduced one of the protagonists, Guy, into the series, as well as basically Sodom, one of the boss characters of the game, which I'm sorry, I don't understand why they incorporated this dude, because Sodom he was cool in the game, but in the Street Fighter series, he's blah. Sorry. My opinions as well, too, and everything. And they also introduced 3 new characters. They introduced basically, Rose, an Italian fortune teller who has soul power, whose soul power is actually supposed to negate Vega's psycho power and all. And they introduced Nash, whom is the superior officer and best friend of Guile and everything. And they introduced Dan Hipiki, who's supposed to be a parody of Ryo and Robert from the Ryuku no Ken game series, aka Art of Fighting, which is in SNK, right? Oh, and I forgot, they also brought back Goki and everything. And this is where we get a better sense of, like, his power, and this is where we're introduced to the Son Goku Satsu and everything, aka the Raging Demon. Now, Street Fighter Zero was an awesome experience in the arcades, because one of the things was, like, we got the graphics that looked a lot more like the Street Fighter 2 anime, particularly with the younger version of Ryu, who looks a lot more like a combination of the anime, but as well as how he appeared in the original Street Fighter game, being that he has the white headband at this moment in time. But we also get, like, a cooler update of how a young Ken looked, as we saw in the Street Fighter 2 anime, when he had long hair and a red headband to tie up that ponytail, which we find out later is supposed to display basically respect and admiration for a character that we don't really see until a little bit later on, but is always mentioned in the series. And one thing in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo they introduced were super moves, enhanced versions of the special moves that the characters have. Well, the super moves in this game are plentiful and more so. Like, they gave Ryu Super Hadouken and Tatsumaki Senbukyaku, which is both Shin Hadouken and Shin Tatsumaki Senbukyaku, and they gave Ken the Shoryurepa and the Shinryuken, which, this is Alpha is actually, my second favorite rendition of Ken. My favorite rendition of Ken we'll talk about pretty soon, in a couple more videos, right? But also, like, we get some awesome updates to Chun-Li's, lightning kick, and a variation of her spinning bird kick, which is more of a diagonal and all. And she actually has basically a super fireball called the Caution, which is awesome, and basically Nash's double somersault, which looks a hell of a lot cooler than Guile's and everything. And one thing that I loved about the arcade game is that, there was a way to not only choose the secret characters, but they incorporated the 2-on-1 fight that Ryu and Ken had against Vega in the animated series, which they incorporate that in the arcades, right? Which was freaking awesome. And PlayStation 1, they expanded upon the dramatic battle with a few of the boss characters. You were able to choose two characters to go up against, basically, Vega, Goki, and Sagat and everything, which is freaking awesome if you ask me. Interestingly enough, this was also supposed to display a rematch between Ryu and Sagat after the events of the first game and everything, where Ryu gets more popular and more well known, and Sagat is still gunning for him. In the meantime, Ken is it's established that Ken did not take part in the first tournament because he was just in America the whole time, and that these two have their first actual fight after leaving their dojo. So, in a sense, Street Fighter Zero was supposed to actually, basically start adapting a basic premise of a basic overall plot of the series, and which was finally pretty cool, because there were certain things that were stated in the previous game, but there wasn't a centralized theme as of yet. And Street Fighter Zero started to implement those seeds, which was pretty cool, and it only got better as the series progressed. All right? Agree? Disagree? Please drop me your comments below and share your memories of Street Fighter Zero, as well as give me a like. Follow me on my Twitter and Facebook accounts, which are in the links below, and ring that bell so you know when a new video loads. But until then, it's been Token Dave, the dorky token black guy who's just trying to get by, and I'll catch you guys later.